We're back for another math lesson. This is 9.10. I have a math message for you. It says you have 2 rows of tomato plants with 8 plants in each row. How many plants do you have? Draw an array and write a number model. All right, pause the video and draw your array and write your number model. All right. Did you make your 2 rows? Okay. And how many plants do you have in each row? 8 plants. We have 2 rows, 8 plants. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you're making it match. What's really good about arrays is they're always a partner. All right, so each one has a partner. There's 2 rows in my number model. Did you write 8 plus 8 equals what? Good job. 16. If this was your array, you did a good job because it shows your 2 rows. This is a row, this is a row, and you have 8 plants in each row. So that was important. And now this is my array, and here is my number model that I wrote. But did you know that you can actually write it a shorter way? We talked about it earlier in a previous video. And you can write it in a multiplication way by saying how many rows do you have? You have 2. And how many are in each row? They are. So 2 times 8 equals 16. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So here is our target for today on numerical patterns in arrays or number models to solve my problems. So the biggest thing is that you're going to be finding some patterns, okay? So let's look at some arrays and patterns. All right. What if I have a 2 by 1 array? What does that look like? So I have 2 rows. Here's a row, here's a row, and there's 1 in each row. So that's what your array looks like. What would your number model look like? 1 plus 1 equals 2. If I wanted to write that as a multiplication, I could say, how many rows do I have? 2. And how many are in each row? 1. And that equals 2. All right, so that is a 2 by 1 array. What if I wanted to do a 2, I'm gonna write smaller this time, 2 by 2 array? How many rows do I have? 2, so there's 1, there's 2. How many are in each row? 2, so 1, 2, 1, 2. That's what my array would look like. And what would my number model look like? Row plus row, which is 2 plus 2 equals 4. And then if I wanted to write it as a multiplication number model, how many rows do I have? 2. And how many are in each row? 2. And what is my answer? 4. Good job. Let's do another one. What if I have a 2 by 3 array? How many rows? 2. How many are in each row? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And now, what would my number model be? Row plus row, which would be 3 plus 3 equals what? 6. Good job. So now if I wrote it as a multiplication problem, how many rows do I have? 2. Write my multiplication sign, which is an X or times. And how many are in each row? 3. And my answer is 6. We'll do one more. We're going to stay with the 2's. What's a 2 by 4 array? How many rows? 2. How many are in each row? 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And how would I write that as an addition number model? Row plus row which is 4 plus 4. And what is 4 plus 4? Good job, 8. So if I wrote it as a multiplication problem, it's 2 times, how many are in each row? 4, and it equals 8. What patterns are you seeing? Good. All the numbers are even. Good. And your answer, what else are you seeing? You're right. These are doubles facts. So we are connecting the doubles facts with our arrays and creating multiplication problems. So if I was going to do these last two boxes and I was going to stick with my 2's, a 2 by 5 array, what would that be? You're right. It would be 5 plus 5 equals 10, and 2 times 5 equals 10. Good job. And our last one, what if I did it as a 2 by 6 array? Yep, good job. 6 plus 6 equals 12, and 2 times 6 equals 12. And to draw it, my 2 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. We're working with our 2's. That's an even number, and so whenever you are working with it to make arrays, you're always going to have doubles facts, and that this will translate over to even numbers as your answer in both your number model with addition and your number model with multiplication. So let's do a few practices to see how that looks out if we were to practice. So I'm going to get out my slate and let's do a few number stories. Let's say, we'll say Andrew has 2 fish tanks. Okay, so he has 2 fish tanks. And he has 6 fish in each tank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many fish does Andrew have? Yeah, that's right. He'd have 12. And what would be my number model for the addition number model? 6 plus 6 equals 12. And what would be my multiplication number model? How many tanks do I have? 2. How many are in each tank? 6. Good job. All right, so now you understand why Ms. Foster was making sure that you understand your rows and how many are in each row, because it was setting us up for multiplication. All right, let's try another one. We have 2 apples. Ooh. Okay. You have 2 apples, and there are 7 slices in each apple. I'm just going to say 7. It's supposed to be 7 in each apple. What would be my how many would I have in all? Yeah, 14. And what would be my addition number model? 7 plus 7 equals 14. And what would be my multiplication number model? How many apples do I have? 2. And how many are in each? How many slices are in each? 7, which equals 14. I know some of you are probably counting. Let's see if I did it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 1 on the back side. There we go. All right, so that is an example that we're showing with even numbers using 2. We're getting doubles facts when we multiply or add with our equal arrays in groups of 2. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. So I need you to get out Math Journal page 242 and page 243. Looking at Math Journal page 242, make sure you put TKA at the top of the page because you're going to be working with Miss Foster on these 2 pages. All right, it says solve the number stories. You can use cubes or draw pictures to help. we'll probably draw pictures, but I do have some cubes. If you want to use cubes to help you count, you can do that. Then write an addition number model for each problem. The number model should be a doubles fact. So we're not writing it with multiplication. We're doing all addition for this page, okay? There are 2 rows of paintings hanging on the wall. Each row has 3 paintings. How many paintings are on the wall? So if I had my drawing, there are how many rows? 2. There's 1 row, there's 2nd row. And how many paintings are in each row? 3. So there's my paintings. And so how many paintings do I have? Good job. There's 6. And what would be my number model? It would be row plus row, which is 3 plus 3 equals 6. Good job. All right, let's do number 2. A bookcase has 2 shelves. So here's a shelf, here's a shelf. Each shelf has 9 books on it. How many books are in the bookcase? Well, we can draw it out if we want to. There's my shelves, and I'm going to have 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I know that there's 9 on this shelf and there's 9 on that shelf. So what is my answer? What would be my addition number model? 9 plus 9, so row plus row equals what? Good job, 18. So I have 18 books. All right, I want you to do number 3 and number 4 on your own. But before you do number 3 and number 4 on your own, we're going to look at the try this because it goes back to number 1, and then I'll have you do try this number 6 on your own. All right, write a multiplication number model for number 1. So what would be a multiplication number model that we would have for 3 plus 3 equals 6? Remember, it goes by rows. So how many rows do we have? Good job, 2. And our multiplication sign is an X. And how many are in each row? 3. So 2 times 3 equals, good job, 6. So I want you to do problems 3, 4, and try this number 6 on your own. So you can pause the video and do numbers 3 and 4 and 6, and you get your home teacher to check that page for you. And then we're going to move on to page 243 with equal shares. So pause the video. Now we're looking at Math Journal page 243, and this is going to be a practice page for us where we are making equal shares and making different shapes with those equal shares. So put TKA at the top of the page, okay? And we are going to use some counters for this. So if you have some coins or if you have some counters, that's going to help you because I think that we need to be able to move things around to be able to put these into equal groups before we draw our lines. All right, it says divide each shape into equal parts. Use the dots to help you draw the lines. Do not use any diagonal lines. That means we can't go across our boxes diagonally, okay? So it says divide this shape, so this whole shape, into 3 equal parts, okay? And they have to be equal. So that is the requirement there that we have to do. So to do that, we're going to have to know how many we have in all to be able to divide them into equal parts. So let's count all our boxes. If we were to draw lines for each box, we can, and you can do that, and you can color in what your equal parts would be, the same color, that would help you. But let's count our boxes. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. I'm going to put that note over here. There's 27 boxes, and I have to divide it into 3 equal parts, okay? So I can get out my counters. I don't have enough base 10 blocks. I'm going to use Mr. Foster's M&Ms. I'm going to count out 20, I can catch them all, 27 M&Ms so that I can divide them equally into 3 groups. So let's count out 27 of them. All right, I have 27 shapes and I need to put them in 3 groups. So I can divide them into 3 groups this way. First of all, is 27 an even number or an odd number? Good job, it's an odd number. So we know that when we're all said, when we divide the shape up, that it's going to be an odd number in our groups because it's an odd number. All right, 3 groups being odd and 27 being odd. So now I'm just going to go and divide them all out so that they're in equal groups. So far I have 3. So this is why I said it'd be easy to move things around. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, and we got 3 left. So now how many are in each group? That's right, there's 9. So I'm going to have to divide this shape into where there's 9 parts to make it equal to 9 little boxes to make 1 part, and then I've got to make 3 equal parts. So I'm going to use my highlighter here, and I know my answer is 9, so I can move those over. And I know, let's start with this bottom section. 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9, so that's one section, okay? And then 3, 6, 9, that's a part. Miss Foster made a boo-boo because now I've made that a separate part, so I can't do it that way. So now I'm going to change my color. This is why you should work with pencil. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is my 1 part. Now I'm going to have to color it in so you can see it. All right. And 1, now I can use my orange. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's my 9 for that part. And then my last part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now I have 3 parts based off my colors. I have 3 parts. They're all equal because how many are in each part? Good job. There are 9 in each part. Okay. Divide this shape into 2 equal parts. So what am I going to have to do first? Good job. Count my boxes, and then I'm going to divide them into 2 groups. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, this is going to be an easy one. 2, 4, 10. And now, just because I've lined them up that way, I can divide them into 2 equal parts. How many is in each part? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I do know that one was an easy one because 5 plus 5 is 10. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can draw my line. This is one section. And this blue section, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is one part. Okay. For problem number 2, which is this one, are the parts the same shape? So does this shape match that shape? No. Are the parts the same size? Does this part match that part? Yes. How do you know? How do you know that they're the same size with the parts? Good job. Each part has how many? Good. 5 smaller boxes in each. Okay. All right. Try this. I'm going to let you try it before we answer it, but we'll check it together. Okay. So let's read it. Divide this shape into 4 equal parts. What are we going to do first? Good job. You're going to count how many boxes you have. Then you're going to count your counters, and then you're going to divide it into 4 equal parts. So that means how many groups. Good job. All right, so pause the video and do that, and we'll come back and check it. So let's check our work. Did you come up with 16 boxes? Good job. And you can see I left my array up here so you can see, and I put them in color so that you can see them easily. There were 4 groups because we had to do 4 equal parts. So there were 4 groups, and how many were in each section? Good job. There was 4. So your boxes, your shape, when you divided it up into 4 equal parts, needed to have 4 of the boxes or smaller boxes in it. It could be any configuration though. That's why Ms. Foster didn't color it in, because your configuration or the way you divided it could be differently. But as long as you had 4 smaller boxes inside, then it matches. So like I was able to get 2 squares completely right there, but notice that this one has 1, 2, and then 3 and 4, so it's configured a little differently. And then the last one, I had 3 on the side with 1 in the middle. But your shape could have been different, but as long as you had that you came up that there were 16 boxes total, and that there were 4 individual boxes divided out, you are correct in seeing that. Okay. All right. So that completes our math lesson today. Let's go over our math target again for today. It says I can find numerical patterns in arrays or number models to solve problems. And one numerical or array that we had was in our example with our math message. We had the 2 rows with 8 plants in each row, and we saw that the pattern was with our arrays, when it's with doubles facts, is that when we look at groups of 2, all the numbers are going to be even and all the facts are going to be double facts. So that would be a good way for us to be able to set up our multiplication. So that was math lesson 9.10, and our target again was that we saw the patterns, we built arrays, and we had our number models to solve our problems. All right, make sure that you complete Math Journal page 242, and you have Mom check those problems for you. Have a good day.